All right, let's do this. What's up, everybody? This is Los Angeles Chronicles. Welcome back. So, episode 22. I'm here with my boy, Zack, ZG300,
Yes,
and
sir.
he's my coworker. But actually, if you don't know, I quit my job with two-week notice. Had a very successful career for 5 years, and
Yeah.
I was instructed by Master Young Wild to switch jobs, not quit and just be a bum, but switch jobs. I like this. So,
Dude,
so
one of the
here we
hardest
are,
workers I know.
Hey,
Hands down.
Thanks for the kind words,
Dude,
man.
the positivity, and I said it yesterday too at your
I
last.
appreciate that, man.
I genuinely mean that, because it's hard to find really good people out here, but I think that's what you kind of gravitate towards when you're a person with a good heart. You know when other people are good people.
Yeah,
you
want to be on the same vibe, same page, or
100%. And we were always talking about getting kind of an audio podcast together, kind of like just, and I love to see the mobile setup that you brought. Like, this is legit. You really got the whole setup, man.
Get kind of a different angle, on it. It was okay. He does his thing too, and then I do my thing, So this episode we're gonna kind of focus on sound engineering and or what do you do? You're a sound engineer and a music producer. Is that it? Or
so I would say my official title, I guess, like what I went to school for, would be audio engineering. So that's a broad term. However, it encompasses, like, I am a producer. I know how to make beats. Vocal arrangement, I can sing a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing though for you. Not without the auto-tune. Okay. But the music producer, recording engineer, like going into the studio, getting good vocals, mixing engineer, which, like I showed you earlier, is like working on the tracks and polishing them up. Mastering engineer, which is basically getting everything as loud as possible so that it competes on a level. Like, you'd be surprised when people hear a song and it's not as loud as another song that they've heard, they automatically don't like it. People associate loudness with it being better, when that's not true at all. It's subjective, obviously, it's music. But so mastering is really getting everything loud enough to where when you play it next to one of your favorite songs, it's almost as loud, if not maybe a little louder or whatever, so that it can compete, I guess is the right word.
Yeah, because your mind's gonna like it more than it's gonna be on that. You're gonna meet somebody midway or something,
even back in like the 70s and stuff, bro, when they were really distorting the shit out of their. Oh, can we cuss on here?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Be yourself, and then
My bad. I didn't. We're gonna edit that one out, Nah, but
okay, let's say like Black Sabbath, you would hear that, and then
they were distorting the fuck out of all their stuff, and why? Because they could get. It was like loud was better. Especially in rock, that was the main thing. And
like Led Zeppelin, we were talking about that, like waiting in the van, and Led Zeppelin was a groundbreaking,
dude, game changing. And then I think it's funny we're talking about Led Zeppelin, because you listen on those on the speakers that they have in those Amazon trucks, and some of the panning, like if the left speaker is out of the right speaker. Some of the guitars and stuff would just be panned all the way to the left.
Yeah, the guitar solo is here, and then like Jimmy Page is here.
They'd have the keyboard over here too, and then they got the fucking, the only.
So do you trip out sometimes, like if you're at work, like what the fuck is coming out of the
dude? And half the time I'll take songs that I work on, right, and then I'll go and I'll listen to them in the van, because it's just another reference point. It's like another medium that you get to listen to your. You get to listen to on, because I always tell people, it's like when I mix something or I master it, it's like, hey, go listen on your phone, go listen on your little Bose speaker that you got, listen on some nice speakers, listen to in some headphones, listen in your car.
I love the JBL Clip Jam.
Oh, dude, classic.
For what that is, dude, that's
class, bro. I mean, those ones, some of those
you can
speakers,
hear everything,
man, dude, they're surprisingly good, for the price and whatnot too, man. But. Anyway, it's always a trip.
But real quick, you're from San Francisco.
Yeah.
And you've been in LA to the recording the school for like, you've been out here for like maybe 7 years, or how long have you?
It was actually 5 years this month. I moved to LA. So I've been out here 5 years. Originally from Concord, which is like 20, 30 minutes outside of San Francisco.
Okay, Concord?
Yeah, Concord, California. Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where I grew up my whole life. Lived out there. Was obviously kind of into music because my whole family's musicians. My dad is he's been a drummer for like over 20 years, or 40 years now.
4 decades, right?
Yeah, he's up there. He's in his 60s, and he's started when he was like 18. And then my uncle, him too, he's been a guitar player, like a professional guitar player, does like weddings, bar mitzvah, whatever. Long story short, my whole family does music, and they've been doing it their whole lives. So obviously, I grew up in the music. I never really thought about pursuing it. Like I showed you, I know a couple things on guitar. I know a couple things on bass. I've played drums. I've done a little bit of keyboard. Like I understand music theory a little bit. But I never really took it serious as like a profession. And then I think, I came back from college in Reno, and I was just trying to figure out my life. I got into the producing part of it because I was like, man, some of these beats are really cool. I ended up going to a studio when I was on winter break, and it changed my life. Because once I saw the studio, I was like, dude, this is so sick. Like this is insane. So, yeah, man, just once I had that understanding, I moved back home, and then I started just doing, interning at the studio, making beats at home. And that was cool for like a year or two. And then I was thinking, do I go to San Francisco State to kind of do like their audio program? Their audio program's not that great. Like, how do I want to pursue this? And I was going to a community college out there. It's called Los Medanos, and they had a great program, which I would argue.
Did you transfer from that one?
Yeah, well, okay. I graduated from that. So that was, I got the associates in the recording arts. I have associate's degree in the recording arts from Los Medanos. I would argue that program was debatably better than the one that I paid fucking $30,000 for at LA Recording School. We can save that
even
for later.
That's not that bad, man. Some people are drowning so hard in the debt.
Bro, it's insane. I have friends who went to like UCLA. Dude, it was like fucking $60,000 a year at like some of those places,
That's kind of how much my art school was. I went to art school.
So you already know.
No, I got a scholarship. I was talking about that on my last episode. The scholarship was for $60,000, but the school was even more.
Oh,
and then I got out when I got out. Yeah,
dude. Yeah, they're just.
Everybody's got their college story if they went to college.
Yeah. And I mean, to basically sum it all up, I started doing music out there, and then 5 years to the day, I think last week, I just took a bunch of producer homies, a bunch of friends that we had, and we're talking about it.
Kind of your circle, and
like, dude, let's go to LA. And at first, everyone's like, nah, I don't want to, fuck that. And I was like, well, you want to just stay up here and keep going to these kind of like mid audio programs, or you want to go down there and try and give it a shot and be a part of it's the scene. It's literally the scene. Like when you think of LA, you think of music, you think of entertainment, Hollywood, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just jumped it, man. And here we are. We're in the studio apartment, man.
Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, we're in Van Nuys, so this episode is recorded in Van Nuys. Yes.
In Van Nuys, man. And Malcolm's old stomping grounds, huh?
Yeah. I went to Grant High School, so yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Shout out to my boy Jesse. He's gonna be listening to this.
So where are you from? I never asked you that.
I'm from Florence, South Carolina.
So you told me that.
But I was moved around a lot. I was here when I was a little kid too.
Dude, you told me you went to a million high schools.
Yeah, I went to 6 different high schools.
Holy shit.
I went to 2 Christian schools. One Christian school is they made us like burn trash and feed rabbits and like
burn trash. Yeah. What do you mean?
It's like, okay, it's time to burn the trash, and then he made us do the chores or something. So because the stepson wouldn't do it, and then he started it was called the Learn to Love School. That was the name of it. Learn to Love School.
Yo, okay. I mean, there you go. He learned to hate it after he's gonna burn some trash and shit.
But the high school, like I said the other night, the high school out here was crazy. Like we had the spikes and we had like Walkmans and skateboards and like.
So you were like a death metal kind of guy?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. And you go to school out here and it's like there was a riot and then it's like, what the fuck?
Bro, way different out here for sure.
And then they filmed shit at that school too. They filmed like the System of a Down video and like the Puff Daddy video and Clueless.
Yeah.
Like oh my god, I'm on the cell phone. That was recorded at my school. And
No way.
Yeah, so it was dope, Yeah.
What a trip, bro. So he's like. You've been around it all then. He knows, man. You've been around, man.
So like you said, you have stories from like the small town and the big city and kind of the mid-range city or like 40,000 people. So But did you go to Los Angeles Recording School? Is that it? Or?
Yeah. So the LA Recording School is the technical name. It's a sister school of the LA Film School. That's like the bigger one. It's on Sunset.
Because that logo looked familiar. I've seen your shirt.
Yeah. The Los Angeles Recording School. Okay. And it's it just sucks, man, because I went in 2019. I loved it. I'm going to class. And then COVID happened. And they still charged me full price for basically half the learning. Because in audio stuff, and I'm not going to speak for anyone else, but me, I'm like a physical learner. Like, I have to do it and, like, move, touch stuff with my hands.
Be there in the class and raise your hand.
Yes, and it's not the same when you just learn online. Because it's like, how many millions of videos I've watched on YouTube that are oh, how to do this, and this is how you do it. It's like, no, when you're
It's not
there
the same,
in
dude,
person,
yeah.
it's not the same. So that's kind of why I was a little upset with the whole, because I graduated from there, but it didn't really feel like I graduated from much, because it's like, it's an online school when I came out here to go to school.
Okay.
Plus then it handicaps your connections. Like those 6 months that we had, that I was
Yeah.
in school there, dude, I was making so many friends. I was talking it up, and because we're all like-minded people in the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
area,
okay.
And then next thing you know, they're all Zoom meetings, and like, it just, I don't know. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and they made me pay full price for it. So I was really upset about that. But long story short,
Well, that
I do
sucks,
like
but at
it,
least
though.
you went.
Yeah, and I graduated.
Maybe you
so-
could go back to something later on. Would you be open to that? Like,
Yeah. I remember
maybe like another program, like an extension of,
I think at one point they reached out to everyone who was going through it during COVID and the program, and they said something about being able to sit in and for future dates in classes, and like be able to get that hands-on experience. So hopefully that, ends up coming to fruition. But as of right now, no, I haven't really heard anything from them. But I did like the program. I could tell that they knew obviously they know what they're talking about. But again, I can't stress it enough, that program that I went to, the first one, the Los Medanos one, and which is like a community college, and it was just, obviously much cheaper, but just I learned more, I feel like, there than I did here. And it just goes to show.
I can relate to that too, though.
So you get it, because it goes to show that you don't need the high fancy, like we were talking about earlier, even with the gear, you don't need the high fancy, super crazy equipment, or you don't need the high flashy course to learn, when you can just learn at a nominal level that isn't insanely expensive or whatever the case may be. But it's like, I still enjoyed my time out here. And so to answer your question, long story short, 5 years, man. Been out here 5 years, went to the school, and now we're doing it. Now I'm just freelance. I worked for a couple studios, and one of them being Legends Only. A lot of big names have been over there. I recorded a lot of cool people. Had some.
Where is that? I've heard of that. Where is that?
Legends Only is in North Hollywood. It's off Magnolia.
Lancashire?
Yeah, Magnolia, and I forget.
Is it in that NoHo thing? I used to live there.
It's close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close over there.
Okay, well,
But they were cool. And then now I do like stuff for this studio community called The Watch, and they have the best studios in LA, hands down. I always go to one of their locations now. I absolutely love them. And
hey, real quick though, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, fast forward to like what you're doing now. That deal you were talking about the other night, where it's like
yeah.
you mentioned about your newest project. If you can kind of go into some depth about that,
Man, so I got a call from someone I actually went to school with at the LMC recording school. Kayla love her, super dope. She's the homegirl, and she's doing a lot of big things now, and has a good social media following. And called me up and said that one of the beats that I had sent her a while back, dude, I've sent her this beat probably I sent her like a big pack, like 30 beats, probably like 3 months ago. And she's just, sitting on them. I didn't really hear anything back, but she's the homie. So it's like, dude, I don't care. Like, use them if you want. If you don't, let me know. And she called me up and basically told me, yeah, there's this foundation, and I am going to forget the name of the foundation right now because I don't remember it, but the foundation that she's going to do this song for is like a charitable foundation. It's for a good cause and whatnot. And, they're putting together like a big marketing strategy behind, whatever this song is going to be. And I still haven't heard the song yet, so I can't, she is really talented. I know that. I know it's going to be a dope song, and it's my beat. So obviously the beat's going to be fire.
Going off. She's a connection going off her judgment, kind of
exactly,
like that.
Exactly. And so she told me that, she wants to get me involved as the producer, and she wants to use the beat. And then she was saying too, as the mixing and mastering of the final track, getting it ready for sync placements, which is a big one, like TV shows or film, or even now sync placements are just little things like ads that you would find on Instagram.
It could be a TikTok ad
100%.
or a YouTube ad.
Anything.
Because that's a big deal.
Yeah. Little 30-second ones or whatever. But basically,
even that, man, people are going through a chaotic day, and
dude,
like what you encounter in your day.
It's insane. And it just that alone too, more people can make money through that now than ever before, just off sync licensing for like ads and stuff. Just making some quick little 30-second little diddly bop, little,
Like
whatever.
who's that motherfucker? Like they wrote that Timu song. Is like, ooh, I love Timu. I can chop like a billionaire. Like whoever wrote that is like balling, probably,
Dude,
man.
Right? Because so many people want to use that sound, and it's like, it's crazy. Anyway, that's a good avenue now for any producers listening. Get into that because you could make some serious money over there. But yeah, she told me she wants to use the beat. She wants me to get involved with the mixing and the mastering side of it too. Hopefully be part of the marketing campaign as well. And obviously if it's for a good cause, I'm more than down to help her out regardless. And I told her, you get the family price, we go way back, whatever. And she told me that they have a good budget that they're going to be working with. So it's not like at the studios that I work at, sometimes you got to haggle and you got to be like, you
got to negotiate with whoever you're dealing with.
And but I get it though too, because a lot of people, they might not have, they don't really have the funds that like someone who has a label budget, right? Like if let's say they
like a major label is different than
5-10K budget on a song is different than the guy coming in and spending his only $200 to record a song with me at the studio. And I feel bad because I know how it is too. And yeah, I got to get paid, but I have a love for the music. And I think that kind of transcends the greed of money, even though shit ain't free out here. So, I mean, I need money for what I do. But as far as
you're going to find a balance with you,
bro, And so that's why I'm happy that she hit me up because I was like, dude, if it's for a good cause and everything, I can definitely work with the budget. Like we can, do all that. And so, yeah, man, hopefully that's going to get going here in the next couple weeks. I'm waiting to hear back from her, but I basically got all the stems and the file sessions and everything ready to send over to her. So I'm kind of just waiting on her. But yeah, I got that call the other day at work. That's why I was so juiced. I told you, man. I was happy, bro.
Yeah, well, keep me posted what that was.
So
absolutely. Was there something that you got into, like, that you got interested in that you weren't into before at the LA recording studio? Like, that you just kind of got into, or?
Well, I mean, I was already interested in the beats and like the mixing and the mastering stuff. But I'd say a big one that I got into was like Foley, and that's how they do sound effects.
Was Foley? Is a program, or it's like a?
Well, so Foley is like the art of recording sounds like.
That was in that book you just had.
Yeah. Like horse trotting in the movie, like ADR, audio dialogue replacement, is a big thing when they're shooting a scene for a film and it's out on a busy street, and you got all this background noise or whatever, and they can take all that out, and then they have to re-record like someone walking in the door.
You have way less control when you're out in the streets. That's why like Alfred Hitchcock hated not being in the studio. He's like, let's get out of here. Like
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it because
like that scene in Psycho when she had to switch cars because she stole the car. That was filmed on Lankershim Boulevard in North Hollywood, and now it looks way different. That film came out in 1960.
Holy shit!
And that was filmed there, and then, but most of that Psycho, that's a famous movie, so it was filmed in the studio, Universal Studios.
What a trip, man. So I get it, and it does really suck, like doing on-site recording if you don't have a great setup, or you can't control if there's a siren that goes by in the background or whatever. And
you got to cut that out, right? Like,
dude, it's a whole lot. So like Foley would be the people like leaves brushing by as you walk through the forest in some kind of scene, right, that involves some outdoor stuff. So people will be in there in the studio like recreating right up next to the mic with all these different types of things. They have like sand pits that they can use, and it was cool to be able to see how they recreate a lot of these sounds that are natural sounds. I'm doing air quotes for y'all that can't see me. Yeah, natural sounds they recreate, and I think that's probably the coolest thing from the school, because I didn't really know about that kind of avenue. And I still think it'd be cool to be able to work on like some stuff for a film, man, because I think my biggest placement, I had stuff for ESPN.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that was like
how was that?
Dude, so cool. It's crazy how it happened. And I mean, obviously I'll tell you the story. My dad was super sick with COVID, and he was in the hospital, and it was bad, right? And he's on the ventilator and everything, and I'm like just praying to God every day. So I end up getting in touch with one of his best friends, who I call, he's also my uncle, Uncle Tim. And I end up reaching out to him because he told me, he was like, dude, I know what's going on with your dad. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you or the family. Like, he's going to be all right, all this. And, I'm in this emotional state. It's crazy. And I just had on the computer, you can pull up iMessages from your phone, like on the computer.
It would pop up like whoever. Yeah,
exactly. So when I was making this beat, I had my iMessages open, and his name was there. And he is the video editor and the owner of Bluefoot Entertainment, which is a sister company to ESPN.
Okay.
They do a lot of ESPN stuff. And so his name was just sitting right there, and I'm like, holy shit, like, this beat kind of sounds like it could be like a, sports highlight kind of, something in the background of some sports highlights. And I was like, holy shit, well, let me just send it to him. So I sent it to him on the iMessage, and I just said, hey, thought of you and thought of, some cool, because he was doing college football at the time. It's like, hey, some cool, like, this could be like a highlight video kind of song. He doesn't respond for like a day or two, and then he gets back to me. He's like, "Dude, I love that. We were gonna use some Billie Eilish song in the background," and it's like, dude.
Plus, you're gonna have to pay her way more, and it doesn't even fit to the damn thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so he was like, "Dude, we're gonna use that. We're gonna let's get on a phone call, and we'll kind of go through what we need you to change and whatnot." So my buddy Robbie, actually, one of my best friends, he lives out here too. He actually did the guitar for it. Like, we recorded the guitar at my old house, made the beat and everything with the other homie Evan too. Evan was there too, and like, we all made this beat. And again, I just sent it over to him, and he loved it. And we got on the call a couple days later, and are kind of going through the time stamps. Like, okay, at 59 seconds, we need a break right here, and then we need for the last 20-30 seconds, we need a guitar riff, like something more subtle. And then, so, we went through the whole process, and then next thing you know, man, I saw that thing air. I cried. I thought it was so cool. And it was from my dad. It was emotional, like I said, because, he was really sick at the time, and he got to see it, and he texted me. Can't get all choked up on here, but yeah, he even texted me. He's like, hey, I'm like really proud of you, and I didn't know, how much time we had left, because he was really, really sick, and he recovered, and everything's fine, and it worked out. I got paid. That was the best money I've ever made. I'll tell you that too. And man, it was just like the coolest thing. The coolest thing.
That's not only like a success story. That's also like kind of like a bond with your homies and with your dad too. It was a big one, man. That one was like, I'd say to this day, that's probably one of my top 3 musical accomplishments, was getting something on ESPN, because I was an athlete my whole life. I wanted to be on ESPN. Was it a football? What was it again?
So it was for college football, and
it was like in between the not commercial, but it was during the game, like hype you up, right? Like
so it was like before the game, where they do those little hype up videos to hype you up for the game that's about to start.
Yeah, and the music was playing or something.
Yeah.
And you guys kind of emailed each other back and forth, like maybe take this out or add this, and then work with and it's almost ready, and then it was ready.
Yep. And then like, that's what's so cool about the iMessage and stuff, and being able to talk on the phone, because I can, like, he just gets on the phone, he's just like, dude, well, we need something at 11 seconds here, that lasts until here. Then we're going to do like a video cut right here. We need something else on this part. And it was just so easy. Back in the day, you'd really have to be in the same place and like telling and like working together and like chopping stuff up. Now it's all digital. I could do it all from the crib, it was really cool. But man, that's cool. My favorite one, brother. That's probably one of my favorite accomplishments out here for sure. Yeah, I was
that's cool. Hey, so what kind of setup do you have for making beats?
Well, I mean, normally I just make all my beats like as we're sitting here in the ZG home studio.
Because I know you keep it simple, man, but you got some stuff I haven't seen and some stuff I'm familiar with, right? That red Focusrite.
Yeah,
I've seen that around.
Dude, the Focusrite, that's like a staple. That's just it's a little two channel, 2 in, 2 out, Focusrite. They're about like $100 or $150, whatever.
You got some JBL speakers.
Got the JBL speakers, which I've had now for like 6+ years. And
so they last a while then, huh?
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's about that time to upgrade.
Okay, 6 years, and then
like, honestly, maybe 8, because I've been doing this now. Shit, I'm about to turn 29. I think I started when I was 20 in Reno and college, like making beats, and they were horrible beats in the beginning. They were horrible.
What about the M Audio? Have you heard of those speakers? Are they're pretty decent?
M Audios, yeah. Those are good too.
And
those
then
are good too, man.
You have Audio Tech like AT or AK 2020, and then. Yeah, or that one, or
the mic that I use, like when I stream, and that I'm not going for like the best possible quality. I have the Audio Technica, the 2020, and that one, relatively cheap microphone. We actually got a free one when we went to the school, the LA recording school. So that's the one that I've been using. But the nicer one that I have is the 4040, which is like the big brother to the 2020. Probably about like a $200 difference. Still really good, really clean. That one I would like record my own vocals if I was ever gonna do a, like headphones I'm using are just the 4040 typical.
What was it? Shure something? Because I might be checking that out pretty soon. Shure 4040 or.
Yeah, the Shure SRH 440s, and this is like a standard studio headset.
Yeah.
This and the Yamahas. Like,
they look badass. Yeah,
they're pretty cool, man. They're not bad at all. And I used to use the Audio Technica headset, which was ATX 5050.
I think that's what I have now. It's like,
no.
No, I have like M20X, and I think it was like $50 or something.
Yeah, and then like I think the one that I have, it was the 50X. That's the one I told you was sitting over there. But.
And do you have like what's it called, a Kai or something, or MPC or like? Because my friend has.
I don't use any. You know, it's crazy. I have a bunch of homies who use those, man. And it's like, I really like to be in the box. And I think the term in the box is basically like, I don't have to like physically click out like the, you know what I'm saying? Like where you got to start, where you hit them with your hands. I think that's a cool way to get more musical with it for sure. But I just do it all in Logic. Like I'll click and paste. And a lot of these Fruity Loop people, they use the same thing.
You don't use Fruity Loops then?
No, I use Logic to make beats, and then recording and like mixing and mastering, I always use Pro Tools because that's what I learned on. That's like the industry standard is Pro Tools.
What level is it Pro Tools 12 or like what's going on right now?
Dude, it's like Pro Tools fucking 20 something.
It's 20 something by now?
I don't know. I don't have the newest update one or whatever, but yeah,
I mean, I like Pro Tools. We used it. I was in a band, and yeah.
Pro Tools is great. Like I said, that is literally the industry standard. Like people have always used Pro Tools, and it's safe to say, unless something comes along and like changes the game, people will always use Pro Tools. Always. Yeah. Like you can get, and this is a common misconception, you can get just as good of mixing and mastering if you use Logic or Cubase or Reaper or Sequoia or Pro Tools, whatever.
Reaper, I had that.
You had Reaper?
Yeah.
So it always comes down to one, the quality of the recording. That is probably the most important part. And then two is the skills of the mixing and the mastering engineer. Like if it doesn't matter where it was recorded or what DAW you're using, digital audio workstation, for anyone that doesn't know what a DAW is, but that's what Logic, Pro Tools, Fruity Loops, all that. The only thing I wouldn't say is I wouldn't record and like mix and master on Fruity Loops just because that's not how. I mean, I have no idea about that, but I know that when you start getting into like the quality of like the sample rates and like just
what about the bit rate?
Yeah, like a bunch of stuff, man. Like I don't know. Fruity Loops, I feel like was only made, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm 99% sure that it was made as a beat creation DAW. Like it wasn't. Logic's like all inclusive. You can make beats, you can record, you can mix, master, whatever. I'm 99% sure Fruity Loops was made just to make beats.
That's what I thought Fruity Loops was, just make beats. I didn't know you could record your audio with it.
Well, and I've heard some really good recordings come out of Fruity Loop. That's why I was so surprised. In my head I'm like,
you can keep on making something, tweaking and making it sound good,
100%.
Post production and
it's a trip. That's when my old roommate, he was doing the same thing. He would always make beats in Fruity Loops and bounce it out, and then we'd go to Pro Tools to record a song. And that's exactly what I do. I do make the beat in Logic, bounce it out, put it in Pro Tools, and then that's like the recording, Even though technically you could do it all in one, but I don't know.
And you said you use the external hard drives for different things, or
you have to have an external hard drive. You have to. Think about it this way. If I loaded up my computer with all these plugins and all these huge file sources, right? And it takes up so much of your computer that it'll actually slow your computer down. If you put all those on an external drive and just have it plugged in so you're still able to use them, the computer has more space to, process and do what the computer's meant to do, rather than trying to hold, holy shit, I got all these plugins that I'm trying to, work to, and it might slow down the workspace. It might start skipping and scratching because it's not,
It could turn into a disaster then.
Dude, the CPU gets ramped up whenever you're using some of these really high-end plugins, like the ones that take a lot of RAM to use, and it'll just make your computer so slow. So I have all mine on like an external hard drive which is what I was showing you. I got a bunch of hard drives, especially as the engineer, because you don't want to be the engineer that loses someone's files when they're like, hey man, like you got that session from that one day at that one time, and you're like, no.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to keep stuff on CDRs that we needed later.
And the OG, the CDRs, man. That's a trip.
And then like where I'm from, like I was known for keeping their band's demos, like stuff that the band didn't have, and then I would have it on a tape or on a CDR, and I put it on YouTube, and people appreciate that, and they were like, "Man, where did you have this? Like, I've been looking for this. I missed this." You know,
what a trip, bro!
So
that's so cool. I mean,
there's this one band. They're called Squirrel 8 Ball of Confusion, right? And they're kind of like a cult. They're a local band. You'd be like
8 Ball of Confusion.
8 Ball of Confusion. So it's like 6,000 views now.
Sounds like a whiskey.
Yeah, I'm the one that uploaded it to YouTube. I mean, and I would see the messages of people drunk, like leaving comments like, "Man, Dirty Myrtle Beach, thank you so much. I love this. This is bringing me back. Rest in peace to my friend."
Man, I mean, it's crazy too that even just off that example right there, the amount of like memories that people hold through music. Like when you hear a song from, you know, like for me, like a lot of like old Stevie Wonder. My dad, he's from outside of Detroit, so he grew up with Motown
back,
stuff.
man, yeah.
Dude, it brings you back, and I think that is something that is one of the reasons why I love music so much, because it can put you in that space. Music has the power to like invoke those emotions of like, damn, I remember listening to this song grounded in my room, you know, when I was 11, because I, you know, fucking whatever, you know, and it's like, or oh man, I remember I was out on such and such trip, or I was at the beach and we were listening to this song and then this happened and whatever, and it's crazy because music will like invoke those memories, man, and those emotions. I love that shit. I love it, man. I really do.
Yeah,
that's
me
why
too,
I love music, man. And that's why I think we got along so well, because I could tell that you appreciate music. You're not just the average listener. And look at you, you're talking about uploading all these old band demos and shit, man.
You know what, man? Like, we were so into it. We would drive, like, I drove 3 hours one time to see this band that nobody ever heard of, and then everybody at the show, they're like, "What the fuck? You drove like 3 hours?" And I was like, I kicked everybody's ass that night in the mosh pit. Like, knew all the words, and then
he was fucking, just sending shots at people in the mosh pit, dude. Yeah, hey, the last concert we went to, there was a mosh pit too, and I haven't been in a mosh pit in a long time, and that shit, I was not ready for it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you wake up the next day,
dude,
like
so sore. You're just like, what is my? I feel like I got hit by a truck. It's because you're just banging into fucking everybody in the vicinity for fucking 2 hours.
I forgot to ask you though. Your dad, it was like rock or soul or Motown, or what? Did he play drums for different kind of styles then, right? Like
Oh man. Well, I mean, he can play it all, but mostly rock and like like some jazz kind of stuff. Like right now, he's in like 2 different Doors tribute bands. He's in
that's cool.
a Beatles tribute band. Like, dude, my dad, now that he's, I mean, kind of retired. He's, you know, he still does a lot of freelance work because he's a video editor, and that's how he made all his, you know, had his success, was through that. But now that life's full circle, because he moved out to Los Angeles from that small town to chase music. He went to Musicians Institute down here.
Okay, well, drums and video editing, that's kind of an odd combination, though.
Oh, well,
yeah,
man.
He did it, right?
Bro, he's got a crazy story.
Editing,
like, he went around from, you know, trying to make it happen in the music stuff to then taking these kind of odd jobs, and one of them eventually was getting into like, hey, you want to hold the camera for this concert, you know, and kind of get and he ended up liking it. And then
you never know, you could naturally be good at that.
And there you go. So, that's just such a trip, man. And you never know where the avenue's going to go to. So he ended up, you know, pursuing that, and obviously the whole time he's still making music, he's still playing drums, like but now that he's like retired, he has a rehearsal every night. He does shows, like 3 or 4 shows in a weekend. Like, he's loving it, and they're for decent crowds too. Like, he's finally living out that dream, which makes me so happy, obviously as a son, but you know, it's just seeing him, any musician, finally getting to do what they love to do. Man, it's so cool, man.
Nice,
it's so cool. Yeah,
so
love my dad. Shout out Pops, man. Shout out Pops.
Nice, man. So what kind of artist are you engineering, and like where do you find these cats? Like are you you're engineering different people then, right? Doing your thing. So,
I would say most of the people that I've engineered, like a good 80%, are rappers and hip hop enthusiasts. And
or is it kind of R&B too? Like, do you?
Oh yeah.
Do you kind of deal with
Definitely got a lot of R&B, like the one I just showed you when we were in here.
Yeah,
like
that
definitely
was
some. Dude, and they're pretty good, man. I'm telling you, bro. Just wait till that one's done. I'll send you the track. I swear it's gonna be good. But yeah, mostly.
And some of them are kind of the rappers like, is it different styles or it's kind of like
oh man, well it's just the recording process is a lot different. You know, like the levels I have set are a lot different because rappers sometimes they get really loud and into it, and then singers are more like. Dynamic, right? So then they'll be singing, and then they'll sing it, and then like it's just a different recording process.
You kind of know what to do then. Like I liked how you drag the lows and the highs, and you're kind of tweaking that.
Yeah,
on
it's
that
just,
one guy. So
man, I'm telling you, bro, it's like you basically just you have to approach them different. I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand. If you approach every recording session the exact same way, you can't expect it to always work. You got to go in with a fresh mind, fresh plan. Okay, what do we need on this song? Okay, let's try this. Oh, no, let's try this. You want to swap that mic out? Let's get the new mic in. A lot of singers sound better on mics that maybe a rapper would sound better on, or whatever you may be. You just never know. You might
switch out the mic here and there.
Every voice is different, man. Every voice is different. And I think that was a big trip at first, too, because, I, in the beginning, was so... Oh, this is how I record. This is how I do it. This is how I,
So it sounds like you meet some hard-headed motherfuckers, too, at the same time.
Don't even get me started, man. I have some crazy studio stories, bro. Holy shit. Especially with the rappers, man. And I love all the clients I have now. I genuinely love. I really do. Like, I don't work with as many people that are random anymore. They usually come from referrals of, like, friend of friends or, like, hey, bro, like, I mix so-and-so's track.
It's a compromise, It sounds
for sure.
you're working with somebody and it's important to them. It's important to you.
100%. That's like my whole job is I want to make you sound as good as I possibly can. From the recording process, if I'm going to mix it, I want to make sure I mix it as well as I possibly can. Mastering that you're about to present out to the world, I want to make sure it's as loud as it can be and it sounds as good as it possibly can. That bass is hitting, whatever. So... Yeah.
So what about the compression? Do you know a bunch of stuff about that? Because I'm kind of learning. I'm learning about compression or something.
I mean, hey, I've been doing it for 9 years, and I still have questions about compression. Okay, I'll tell you that. It's that's a slippery slope. But at the end of the day, compression is basically there to make sure that you don't go like you could clip on a mic by singing too loud, and it'll distort and it'll sound bad. But compression will
it'll peak. You'll peak right there or something, right?
Like you'll set it. It's basically at like a limit. You can say for every 4 dBs that this goes over the threshold, it's only going to go over 1. So that's like a 4-to-1 ratio or a 12-to-1 ratio. If they're really loud or you got them on drums and they're slamming or whatever, man. Like, yeah, it's different. You want me to turn that light on too? It's getting kind of dark over
here. Yeah, if you can. Hold on.
Shout out that little desk lamp that's working harder than everybody else.
So you find some of these artists just like some connections, or they'll hit you up, or like
Instagram too, bro. Yeah. I've met a lot of people through Instagram, and I think Instagram's kind of like a digital resume now. Like I can post a lot of the work that I go on, and then people will see, I saw so and so reposted the song that they just did, and you were tagged as the mixing engineer or the producer, and so I hit you up.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Sounds good.
And then they can find you on TikTok or something too, or
everything,
or YouTube,
bro.
or whatever.
I think that's like a big one. A lot of these people who aren't like 18, 19, 20, like the young producers and engineers right now, they already know what to do with all the social media stuff. For me, I had to make the TikTok. Now you got to start kind of uploading some content, just basically showcasing your work. And that's a big one. So yeah, I got Instagram, I got Twitch. I be making beats on Twitch and stuff.
What's Twitch?
Dude, Twitch is like the live streaming stuff. So like...
people dancing and acting stupid or what?
Dude, there's a lot of that, though. I'll tell you that, bro. And there's half-naked girls on there half the time. It's fucking
you dress up like these fucking costumes of them a furry or something? Get their ass beat or what?
The furries, bro. Nah, like they got a couple things on Twitch, bro. That's crazy. Right. But Twitch is cool, man. Twitch is cool.
So X. No, it's not Twitter. It's X. My bad. Anybody that hears this is formerly known as Prince, formerly known as X.
That's so... I don't know, bro. I still think of it. I know the company changed the name.
Yo, Elon, what's up with you right now? Elon.
Yeah. What's up, Elon? Cut me my check, brother. Yo.
He's my regular listener. He hit me up. He's like, "Yeah, so you heard the last episode?" And
yeah,
have you ever heard him? You heard him talk before? He sounds like nobody talks like that guy.
You know why he talks like that?
That's nuts,
that fool's so fucking smart that he's like trying to even think of what language he probably wants to say it in. He could say it in 80 different languages or in like computer code, and he's trying to say it in English.
Hey, listen, it doesn't matter like how much money you have or how smart you are. At the end of the day, if you have anxiety, man, you have some fucking hardcore anxiety, man.
Man. Preach, brother.
Yeah,
that is just a factual statement.
Facts
you think
there.
why? So wait, you think Elon just has like a bunch of anxiety built up?
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I mean, if he's thinking about saving the world and shit,
it's so common. I mean, like that's a famous name I just mentioned, but it's so common. It's out there. Like, you got anxiety, but it's not like something you just say to somebody. That's a rude thing to say.
Yeah, definitely.
You say that. You can say that in your head. I mean, I'm a blunt person, man, but I mean, you can say that in your head.
Which I respect that.
If you come ask me, I'll be like, "This is what you need to do with your life." But I mean,
dude, fucking Malcolm, aka Dr. Phil, over here giving people the fucking the stuff.
We should have him on here.
Dude, you should. Okay,
I'm going to tell her what she needs to do to straighten out her life.
He sounds like that. Let me ask one question. If you could have anyone on your podcast, who would you get on your podcast? Anyone, celebrities, anything, bro. Like if you had the guest or the Joe Rogan reach, right, to get someone on your podcast, who would you get?
That's a dope question, man. You just flip the rug out under me, man.
I mean, you know, that's all.
I'll get like a more challenging person.
You think?
I want to get Kamala on here. Kamala Harris. Yeah,
let's talk her shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll just listen, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
But then you got to have Trump on too, so they can like kind of like, you know.
No, he'd be on the next one. Like, I think it'd be tremendous. This episode is tremendous.
He's doing a really good job over here. I really like Malcolm. He's a great guy.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
This isn't like if you saw his face, like Zack just did the face of like.
Yeah, the dude. Good Lord, man. Hey, well,
but I'm trying to think. Like I'm into like a lot of
like
cult
rock. Like
no, this is famous. I'm not
musicians?
I'm not even political, man. But like I'm in a lot of like cult stuff. Like this is my favorite movie. So.
Well, like cult, like what do you mean by? I feel like you got to expand that a little bit. Like what do you mean, like like the cult following stuff?
Cult following stuff.
Yeah.
I'm.
Ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm is not in a cult. He's not in a cult. We're just gonna put that out. He's not in a cult. He's talking about a cult following. Okay, now we're good.
Cult following was also like one of my favorite movies is Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, and then that's known as a cult '90s comedy, right? So then it pissed me off because they remade it, and then the 2024 version of it, and I was like, come on, that's even that idea that if I had a dream of that idea, that's like a nightmare. You don't blasphemously like remake my damn.
He was mad at that remake. I would be mad.
And I saw the trailer just for the hell of it. It pissed me off.
Bro,
and I was like,
they recreate and ruin so many good movie series because they're like, oh, we need a spinoff 20 years later or like a
that's what they did to it. A modern thing.
A lot of movies like that, man. Trying to think of a really good example of like a shitty like remake that.
No, I can only name a good remake. The only good remake I've ever seen was Cape Fear from 1991 with Scorsese because that was more of like a homage to the 1960 version. Dude,
did Scorsese have any bad films?
No.
I feel like he pretty much nailed it like 9 out of 10 times. You know. Obviously, movies are subjective, just like music is. But
a good friend of mine, he has good judgment. He said The Killers of the Flower Moon wasn't good. That was his worst one. But that's his opinion.
I've never seen that one.
I didn't see it for myself. He's like, yeah, if you want to sit in the movie theater injured for 3 hours, then go ahead.
You just put yourself through a fucking rigorous test, you know? Like,
but it's hard to name. Like they're playing Casino on the big screen at the Beverly Cinema next in a couple weeks.
I love that movie, bro.
That's just an example. Like
all those old Al Pacino movies or Robert De Niro movies, like, dude, even Taxi. I fucking love that
Taxi
movie.
Driver. Yeah,
I thought that was at first. I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" You know?
No, that's a really good.
That was a good one. By the end of it, you're like, "Holy shit!"
Great.
You kind of just see this guy's mental like completely shift and change. I don't know. I like that movie a lot. I really did.
Yeah, I love that one too.
Scorsese, man. Shout out to GOAT, bro. Shout out to GOAT.
Yeah,
Scorsese, man.
Oh yeah, but back to the last question real quick.
Yeah.
Is there some kind of like contract you work out with like contingencies and something with like you're like you said something about like kind of like hunting people down to pay for the studio process and stuff? I hate to ask you, man, but
it's man. Well, it's tough because
as a pain in the ass or what?
As a freelancer, right? Because I have to go chase people down for the money. If you're working for a label, then it's like invoicing. Like
It's
I can
like
just
a legit
invoice, like with the
contract or
ESPN
something.
stuff, I invoiced them and they just paid it, and it was easy, no questions about it. All right, but when it's, hey bro, like let me, get into the studio for this much. Oh, I got this much money. It's like, all right, well you got to pay me X amount later. It's like, okay, yeah, for sure. And then it's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then here I am 2 weeks later
Okay,
knocking on the door.
Okay, I don't do it, but what you just said reminded me of a roommate that I had. Like, hey, I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah,
Oh no,
pretty
they're
much.
garnishing my wages at work,
Yeah,
bro.
pretty
And that
much.
happened to me. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much
So
how
that
it goes,
sucks,
man.
bro.
You gotta fucking chase people down, man, and like, I hate it because I'm I genuinely am a nice person. I like to believe that. And
Yeah, he's
I'm
a good guy. Everybody.
No, I mean, I'm okay, right? I'm okay, but I'm not a dick. And if I owe you money, I'm gonna pay you money. That's me. I live on principles and morals. A lot of these people,
Yeah, like
they
a
don't-
lot of people don't live.
They don't
like
give a
that, yeah.
fuck, man. They're just like, how can I use this person? And I hate those types of people, bro. I really do. And
That's good. I mean, we had
Yeah.
a really good engineer too. We still stay in touch with him too. But
yeah,
yeah,
dude, from
so,
back in the day because you were in the band too, right?
I was actually a rapper too, and the reason I quit rapping is because it wasn't.
We gotta get you in the studio, brother.
Maybe I know I
come
don't seem like a rapper, but okay, one show was crazy. It was down there. It was called the Liquid Zoo. It was on Sepulveda and something. Speaking of, because we're on. It
Okay.
was, if you keep on going down, and
This
it was
way?
it was a weird show because it was with us and like. It was All From the Eye and Just the Facts. All From the Eye is the guys from West Side Connection. Shout out to
Okay,
them.
yeah, shout out them.
I've shouted out to them like 6 episodes of my podcast.
You gotta get
Yeah,
them
so,
on the
yeah,
podcast. Come on.
And then I was Maldy Mal was my rap name, right? So
Okay.
then they're like, okay, this guy's weird. How come you didn't say shit to people when we were like mingling, and then I didn't say anything for like an hour, and I got up on stage and just like, what the fuck? I burned
killed it.
burned $1 bill on stage and like. It was in like frustration because hip hop was all about I got money, I got ice, I got and I was like, fuck this,
Yeah,
man.
fuck
And
the system, man.
yeah, it was a really intense. It was the most intense show like
Good.
at that.
That's dope,
Like,
though. Those are
there's-
the ones that make people's memories too.
Like
if
I
you were there-
flipped out and punched the floor, and it was like, yeah, and it was
Okay,
some
what the
song that
hell?
nobody ever heard of, and it was
Damn,
yeah, it was-
he was serious. That's funny.
but
bro.
sometimes when you go on stage, and as soon as you grab the mic, and then you
Yeah.
turn into a different person, pretty
Dude,
much. It was
there's
more.
that
It
little
was,
switch, bro.
yeah, it was like that. So it was like
Switch
you
goes
turn
off.
into.
That means you're a performer.
You turn
though.
into that better version of yourself that doesn't
Yeah.
give a fuck what people think.
Yeah.
And like.
And that means you're a
"Hey,
true
what
performer.
about this
bro.
or what? And it
A
was
lot of
like,
people, they have
every
that.
show is like your last show. That show was like, okay,
that's a
tomorrow's
good one.
the end of the world.
That's a good
Let's get this. It was
That's a fucking good one right there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more. You got to be able to just, like that Eminem song, you better lose yourself in the moment. The only moment that you get, right? You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This
what do you-
opportunity comes once in a
It was
lifetime.
like, is that movie like 8 Mile? You remember that?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do the mom from 8 Mile and do an impression of her like, what are you doing with your life that's so great, rabbit? Oh, come on, Mom.
That was pretty good.
Oh, come on, Mom. I'm going to the studio. Yeah, right. Come on, rabbit.
I mean, Joe, you do a lot of impressions pretty fucking well,
we used
man.
to do that in the back room at the beer company, like at the job.
Hey, well, now that you got some time, man, it's time to get these voiceovers
yeah,
going.
let's do it. So,
You got to do it, man.
speaking of voiceovers, like what anime do you watch, or like what were you into real quick with anime? I
Uh-oh.
know you're an anime. I know you're an anime fan, so I
I'm a
want to.
huge anime fan.
I want to bring it to
man.
like a hard
Oh.
question back to like a more like.
Okay. Well, like what? Man. Well, so what am I into now, or like what did I get started with?
What's just some anime with some shit you're into, like.
Dude, I swear to God, even as you can tell, we have Dragon Ball Z playing in the background. Before I ever watched anime, I was into manga, which is the
What is
comic
it?
books, So it's like
The comic version of
the
like.
comic versions of all the stuff that we watch now, like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z,
Okay.
even like some Yu Yu Hakusho, like Hikaru no Go, like bro, just some old ones, right? Yu-Gi-Oh. I was into all these
It's
manga
it's like
books.
a lot of Japanese, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, I think most of them are.
Yeah, most of them are Japanese. They're
Yeah.
not. They're not Chinese or Japanese.
No,
Yeah, they're not Vietnamese.
I've
so-
seen some Korean mangas before, but I
I think that Korea.
I feel like they don't get as big. I don't know. The Japanese, they got that shit on lock, bro. They know what the fuck they're doing.
Because I know that's where like I know we were talking about Akira, and that's my favorite.
Dude,
so
I
he's
fucking love that fucking movie, bro.
And that was 1988, and then
my god,
that was kind of set the
game changing.
The game,
1988, and it came out that good. That's still that movie probably beats out a lot of the ones now, bro.
Before the technology, too.
Dude, and it's that old nostalgic art style, too. You know what I mean? I fucking love that. That's why I got so into anime. But yeah, just going off like that kind of stuff. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was like my childhood, and Naruto came along, changed the entire game for me.
Okay, our boss at work had Dragon Ball Z tattooed on his arm.
Hell yeah, he does. And I swear that on the first day, I literally, because he's pretty serious if you don't know him.
Yeah, he was.
But then he showed me the tattoo, and I was like, dude, no way. And instantly we became cool friends, you know?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And man, some new ones though, like they actually just, the one that came out last year, it's called Jujutsu Kaisen. Dude, holy shit, I fucking love it. It just won the award at the Anime Award Show or whatever it is for the best new anime. And it was
some of that's American too, or it's more of like, do they do anime in America?
Yeah. They have some American-made animes, 100%. And some of those just aren't as big. To be honest, I don't even know if I can name any off the top of my head. I'm sure people in the comments will be like, "Oh, this is an American anime." It's like I had no idea, you know. But that's how it is now. And man, like just taking it back, like you said, the Akira timeline, the late 80s, early 90s, like even up to the maybe like very early 2000s, end of the 90s, that anime time was just so awesome, man.
So that was kind of the golden era.
At least for me. And that's when it started to get really big, you know? And man, I love that shit, man. Love it. Jujutsu Kaisen, go check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. Game changing.
Okay.
Dorohedoro, another one.
In San Francisco, like when did you start skating or playing basketball? You said something last night about being like a baller or something.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that was, I would argue, like my first love was basketball and skateboarding. And it was funny. Like my whole life, I had this double life of where I would be in like on 2 to 3 different basketballs because I was pretty good. I'm not trying to toot my horn or anything, but I was pretty good. So I was playing on 2 or 3 different select teams, you know, whatever. And I'd have basketball practice most of the day, and then I'd go home and I'd skate. And we'd go to the skate park and like, dude, just, you know, being a little skate rat back in the day, man. And you know. Yeah. And it's just, man, that was just being a skate rat, dude. And I think
no responsibility, no studio apartment.
Smoking fucking cigarettes in the skate park. You're like, I'm 12.
Get somebody to buy you beer.
Dude, exactly, bro. We used to go to San Francisco a lot, though. We used to take Bart out there. Shout out Bart, man. Legendary transportation system in the Bay. We used to take Bart out to the city and just skate, man. Like, and just, you know, being little fucking.
That's before they revamped that one famous spot with the bricks or something.
The Embarcadero. Yeah, bro.
We were talking about that at work.
I never got to skate the Embarcadero. Now the Pier spot, there's Pier 39 spot where they have those 2 like double mani pads with a little ledge drop off. Dude, I skated those. Those are fun. And I was never that good at skating. I was definitely better at basketball than I was skating. But skating was just like, I mean, I hung around with a lot of people, though, that were really good at skating, man. Dude, one of my best friends,
I've been up there. They were sick, man.
They're so fire, bro. And, like, just the whole scene of skateboarding was something that I, you know, and they were really big into art, too, because that was, like, my other love, like art. You know, I used to draw. I used to make comic books and everything,
It kind of coincided, you know, the music and the...
Yeah.
Especially music, hip hop, or it could be punk rock or something. Dude. It could be like the graffiti and the skateboarding. 100%. And
oh yeah, well I mean, like when I was
filming
skating,
filming and editing. That's another art form. Skating, dude.
Yeah, anything that's creative, man, is like embraced in those kind of cultures, like skating, because technically skateboarding is creative too. You can do the same trick as someone else, but it's with the steez that you do it with, or like the little flair that you put on it. You know, maybe this guy tweaks his kick flips like
because we were talking about we were talking about Stevie Williams, man. That guy was sick, dude.
I fucking love Stevie Williams.
And I didn't know that was his name, but he was the one that killed it on the end of that Trans World video. Yeah. I had the VHS tape.
Yeah.
And then
you had the actual VHS.
Yeah, dude, I guess still got the VHS to the Goldfish tape.
Nice.
And then,
dude, so classic.
But he was just like, the word I would use is effortless, man. It was just like he made it look effortless.
I wanted to go when Stevie Williams got big. He's from Philadelphia. I wanted to go to that Love Park. You know that he used to have all those clips on from Love Park.
Yeah,
dude.
I went to Philadelphia twice. I think we walked by that. And
Did you go
everything
by?
too.
Dude,
yeah,
because that is
because
like
we saw the Rocky
man.
statue with the
Yeah.
we were there.
Malcolm had the
Because my homies in Philly, and we went to China. You know how we say every city has like some kind of Chinatown or something. Yeah, we went there.
And I told you too. We talked about this. He's out here in L.A. Running his brands. He skates in Koreatown at that church that's down there. And they love him over there. I swear to God, they love him because they let him skate all the time there, and he's never getting kicked out. At least from what I know. I mean, dude, I've seen him post some gnarly clips down there, and that's just down there in Koreatown, bro. Even San Francisco had some really good spots in like the Chinatown up in SF, bro. Some fire spots up there, man. Fuck, I miss those days, bro. I haven't skated, and it's been at least over like damn near a year now, bro. I don't know, but even like SF brand, like real skateboards, deluxe distribution. They did like this Crooked, Crooked, Real, and there was one other company that was.
Oh, they were the parent company of Real? Because, I was way into Real.
Dude, and they had the whole, like their whole distribution and manufacturing center was up there in the Bay Area, if I'm not mistaken. So like they were making the skateboards up there. And it was like, bro, I'd always have or chocolate boards. I loved those, but they snapped too easy. So then I started riding Crooked and Real, and those boards, I'm telling you, bro, those go for. I have my skateboard right now is a Real. It's a Real deck, and Spitfire wheels always. Independent trucks, maybe some Thunder trucks too. I like the Thunder trucks.
I got Thunder trucks actually, and
Well, the independent trucks though, man, it's like.
And I had
those are the originals, the indies, man.
At Amazon, there's this orange app, the application, and it says I've parked. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Do I have any thoughts
I've
on
parked.
Man.
What is that supposed to mean?
That's just another thing the government's using to track you, brother. That's all it is. They're just fucking tracking.
I gotta say this because it pisses me off. So like, you go into your next stop, and it already says I've parked. I was like, no, motherfucker, I haven't parked yet.
I haven't parked, you fucking idiot. Like, ugh, I hate him.
No, I told him that.
Yeah.
I wrote them a letter. They didn't do anything. So.
Well, so what? You would rather have it only be when you get to the exact geotag that it says I've parked?
No, I don't click that button until I have parked.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it by accident before.
Definitely. And
let's say I'm going to this stop here. I'm at the house. Then I've parked. Yeah. But they don't have any business. If you're listening to this, you don't know what we're talking about unless you are an Amazon guy. But they shouldn't even have that on that application.
Yeah.
To say that to fuck with you, because if you're new, then it could like mentally.
It'll fuck with you. Yeah, 100%.
Does that make your job harder? Like,
dude,
fuck my life, right?
Well, at least you now get a fucking break from that stuff, man. I gotta go back in 2 days. God damn it! It's fucking Malcolm's over. He's about to do a million different creative things. I'm excited though. You're gonna do a lot of good stuff, man. And
thanks for your support. So I got one more question about that before we move on.
Yeah.
What is the most ridiculous thing you've ever had to do at Amazon?
Ugh. Oh my God.
Or just one story of like, this was ridiculous.
I got a couple good ones.
Or it could be somebody like a difficult customer, or like carrying like 20 Fijis up the
Dude, I had a couple. So the old at Speedy, bro, we used to have the routes that were in.
He's talking about Speedy Express, by the way.
Express,
that's the name of someone's bullshit business, and it was like.
Well, not anymore because they're out of fucking business now.
No, remember, like I worked there too, but I didn't see you, right? So then the boss, his name was Jeff, like the owner, and he was Jamaican. He's like, "Hey, so how was your route today, man?" And I'm like, dude, "Fuck you."
That guy was a fucking trip, man. Jeff, man, holy shit. And he was, I mean. You know, he had his cool moments, like most people do, but at the same time, it's like
he's the one that fucked it up though. Like he went out of business
because he didn't want to pay. From what I understand, he didn't want to pay for all the damages on the vans that
Dude, every van was damaged.
Dude, fucked
like
up.
no backup camera in probably every van.
And we were going to these super nice neighborhoods, like I said, Santa Monica, Hollywood Hills, Bel Air.
It was Pacific Palisades.
Yep, Pacific Palisades too. Yep.
And Bel Air. Yeah. Fresh Prince. One time Will Smith came out and he's like, "Hey, yo, I got this. I'm going to help you with this two-wheeler, this dolly. I got you." And I'm like, "And you're the guy from the." He's like, "I know, man. Like Carlton's over here."
Wait, are you serious?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
I was like, "Shut up."
No, I do have
no way.
I do have a related to that. I have a true story though. One time we went somewhere and as an audience member, and I guess you get to get in for free and just be an audience member somewhere.
Okay.
And my friend, she said, "Hey, don't act stupid or anything, but Carlton's sitting like right behind us."
No way.
And it was Carlton from the Fresh.
Yeah.
And
Alfonso.
then he was
I
that's his real name. So
yeah.
he was, and I was like, kind of looked slowly, like, oh yeah, that is him. And he's there with his daughter. I didn't mess with him.
Yeah.
But somebody was stupid enough to go up to him and do the damn Carlton dance, and he was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, bro.
And
now
you know who else?
spotted.
And it was Stacey Dash was there, and I was like literally like that close to the.
She was hot.
Yeah, of
Still
course,
is,
of
probably.
course, yeah. And but I didn't know that like that's Damon Dash's cousin, the hip hop mogul, Jay-Z and Damon Dash. And
shit!
That guy's like a billionaire. Or whatever,
I know.
I didn't know that was his cousin.
Yeah, I didn't. Honestly,
I
didn't know until you just told me. Holy shit!
I was like randomly looking up stuff on we click this on Wikipedia. Like, no shit. Yeah, it's like,
bro, you could go on these crazy internet rabbit holes now, bro, and end up finding shit out that is just insane. But I think my craziest Amazon story would probably be. I mean, dude, just, like, okay, all right, crazy cool.
Yeah.
I end up going to, you'll like this. It's in Bel Air. It's on this super narrow road in Bel Air, and it's this insane house that I've delivered to a couple times, but I usually leave it at the gate because they don't let me drive down. Yeah. Today, randomly, I just was like, I'm going to click the button. I'm going to be nice. I could walk it down to the front door. So I click the button, and the guy answers, and he's like, oh, yeah, you want to just drive down here and drop it off? I was like, dude, I got a bunch of stuff for you. And he's like, yeah, come on down. So I drive down into this little cul-de-sac, right? Super nice house. He's like, yeah, if you want to just bring all the, it was a bunch of waters and whatnot, paper towel, whatever. And so I'm bringing him into the house. He's like, yeah, just bring him up into the house. As soon as I walk in the door, I look on my left side. The entire wall is all record plaques. And I'm like, I'm in the music industry. I know what a fucking record plaque looks like.
Of course.
So I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit. And then I look straight. Another wall full of plaques. I look on the right. Another wall full of plaques. This is just the intro. I didn't go like inside into the home. I just kind of left them up there. And I'm looking around and I was like,
that's not the garage. That's inside the real house. Like,
And so I'm looking at the guy who is, I found out, I think he's not the butler, but like he helps run the house because this person's a little bit older. Now you'll see who it is. So he's talking to me. He's like, yeah, man, like, hey, I appreciate you coming down, driving them down. Normally we got to go up there. I was like, yeah, it's all good. If you don't mind me asking though, I see all these record plaques on the wall. Like, who lives here? It's fucking Quincy Jones, bro.
Oh no!
It's fucking Quincy Jones.
I was like, legend.
I literally was like, no fuck. He's like, oh, you know Quincy Jones? And I was like, yeah, I know fucking Quincy
Michael
Jones.
Jackson,
dude. Like, I couldn't believe it.
That's a trip, dude.
He wasn't there though, so I was bummed because I was like, oh, can I?
But was it in Pacific Palace or it was?
No, this is in Bel Air. Yeah, up in the tub, man. And then this guy, we end up having a conversation. I told him I'm in the music industry. He's like, yeah, like, hey, we got the private chef here too. You want like this, like a tuna melt? We got an extra one. And I was like, what? Sure. Like, I'm not gonna say no, even though I'm not a big tuna guy. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Just whatever. But
that's cool. At least you're into music. You appreciate it.
Oh, dude, it was so cool because just looking at it, I was like, oh my fucking god, this is where Quincy Jones lives.
Yeah, because
holy fucking shit.
Because some people they would go there and I mean, it's sad, but they never heard of Quincy Jones. So
man, if you don't know who Quincy Jones is, bro, go fucking look it up. One of the greatest, if not the greatest producer. Because this is. And you'll appreciate this too. This is back when producers were actually producers. Now when people say they're a music producer. It was a different
role back then.
Dude, you're making beats. You're not a producer.
He was more like a mentor at the same time.
Yeah. And a producer is someone that can get shit done. So it's like, well, I'm bringing in these people for the string section. I don't like that guy. We're going to hire and talk to this label over here and bring in the horn player from this band to do his part over here. We're going to have the drummer come in. We need to have this and we need to have that. That's what a producer was someone who made that shit happen and found ways to get it done and was the overall seer of like, yeah, I don't like how we recorded that. Record it again. I don't like how this ended up sounding. We're going to do that again. That's what a real producer
it's still around, but of course times change
it's
and whatever's relevant.
Because then, like I said, most people, like even me, right, to say, hey, Zach, are you a producer? I produce music, right? But a producer is someone that really like makes that I keep saying it, but they really make that shit happen. That is what a producer does, bro. They get all the shit in order, and then, man. Anyway, I could talk for years about that shit, but anyway, yeah. So that's probably my craziest Amazon story in a good way. The other bad ones were kind of just getting bit by dogs or fucking.
Yeah.
Dude, I slipped one time. It was downpour rain, and I was on a hill, and I slipped super bad.
Yeah, no one cares. Yeah. And I'm just fucking. That's the first thing he's like. I'm just not just messing with you.
I know you are. That's funny, yeah. But it's funny though. You know who else doesn't care? Amazon. They didn't give a fuck. Like, and I hurt my leg. You got hurt too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so it's a fucking struggle.
You know what? I didn't even really want to leave. That was kind of like, that was a hard thing. I did something I didn't want to do, but that's why you need to kind of get out your comfort zone. Like, you know, 100%. When people tell you that. So like I said, like my teacher told me to. Yeah. It's time to move on. So
comfortability is nice, but it's the enemy of where you want to be. Because
like your self-indulgence is your enemy.
Dude,
it's like
if you get too comfortable, you end up living, I don't want to call it a mediocre life, but you never reach your full potential, because how you reach your full potential is by putting yourself in situations that aren't the average situation of just everyday shit. Like if you already have it nailed down that I go work at Amazon and I come home and I do this and I do that, then you're comfortable doing that. But then
do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, "Oh, I'm good," you know? Like,
yeah, I hit the gym twice. Like I'm good. Like no,
oh yeah. Speaking of that, so one question is how are your workouts going, man?
Dude, well, you know, I got to be honest. You can see over there, we got the kettlebell. I've been doing the.
Do you do the home thing, or do you go to the gym, or what's up?
I definitely go to the gym. I'm not gonna lie to you though. The last couple weeks, I kind of fell off the train a little bit. I tweaked my fucking neck, and like I didn't go to the gym, and then I just haven't really. But
you can always like step it back up. You can always
easily. And but a lot of the times you just do home workouts like push-ups. I do the kettlebell stuff, like any little bit of workout. And I'm telling you, this is the best.
Yeah, dude.
The best is in the morning when you wake up. You do at least like some push-ups. You get your heart rate up. You might go for a little walk. You do some resistance, whatever, just to start your day off. Because that initial energy surge, people are like, "Oh, I'm going to be tired after that, and I can't go work all day." It's like, no, it actually releases the endorphins and allows you to stay awake and be more attentive and last longer without crashing out and going to bed, man. But
it doesn't seem like that. Sometimes it's like I'm tired, and if I work out, I'm gonna be more tired. But that's more of like.
That's if you go too hard, though. Like a nice warm-up in the morning is, like I said, you know, you go for a little walk, you get some push-ups in, whatever. You're not, like, hurting. If you go hit the gym at 6 a.m. and you do a crazy leg day workout, and then you go to Amazon, bro, and work 12 hours at Amazon, you're going to be fucking tired. You know?
It's a tough one, man. Actually, when you go to the gym, do you make gym sounds like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm the man?
No,
like, do you do that? Or
no. To be honest, I really despise
You heard other guys doing it. Like,
oh, yeah. Bro, especially out here. I used to go to fucking Gold's Gym, man.
Yeah, that's where they do it.
And the one that Arnold Schwarzenegger actually used to work out, the one in North Hollywood,
right there
off
Laurel Canyon?
Off Laurel Canyon.
Dude, I used to be a member too. Like,
really?
Oh, shit.
No way.
Small world.
But yeah, those fucking, they have workout equipment in there that's literally from the fucking 70s still. Like it's, they need to get some new equipment. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's like, they got some stuff in there that's rusted out, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And I was paying the same amount for that I'm paying now for LA Fitness, and LA Fitness is way bigger with nicer fucking equipment and stuff.
Overall, probably everything.
Yeah, but fitness, man, like going back, gym, man, that's a beautiful thing right there.
So,
if you hear my voice, get your ass in the motherfucking gym, baby. Yeah.
Wake your ass up.
Wake your ass up.
So, what? This is a different subjects, but what's the good Mexican restaurant in Van Nuys? If you can name, if you've been. Because I mean, sometimes it's hard to like.
Some good ones out here, man.
It's hard. It's hard to eat
food trucks though. It's not even a restaurant.
After you bust your ass all day, you can't like. Sometimes you don't have enough energy to cook dinner. You know what I mean? So you're right.
Yeah. Fuck no.
So that's why kind of what I asked. And like you're in Van Nuys, so sometimes the trucks are better than the restaurant. You get a better deal.
If you go all the way down Sepulveda to where it intersects on Burbank, where you get off on the freeway right there. They have about 4 or 5 trucks that are all lined up along. I'm trying to think. It's like a Ross or whatever, but there's like 4 or 5 trucks lined up right there on Sepulveda when you get off Burbank, and like those, it's a birria taco. I forget the exact name, but it's like they do birria tacos, right, dude? I'm telling you, I fucking
birria.
Yeah.
What is that? That's a
so it's like that sauce that the meat sauce that they get
red?
after that they dip it in, like the tortilla, they cook it in that meat sauce too, and then they give you a little take home one too. So you're like dipping your tacos in this fucking.
Because I know this guy likes
sauce.
tacos. Because one time we had tacos at work, and he was like determined. He was on a mission to like
Man, I
get
ate 12
to
that day. That was easy too.
He was on a mission, and he broke some record and ate more than everybody else. So
yeah. And they didn't let me take the fucking food home. I would have ate, bro. They had like at least 4 or 5 pounds of meat left over. I was like, dude, that'll feed me for a week.
They ran out of cheese. They ran out of some stuff up there, but they
couldn't
it was
keep up
damn
with me.
good. Yeah, they were good.
They were good though, right? Yeah. The other spot I will say is
But do you know the name of the truck, like the certain one you go
that's
to?
what I'm saying. I just see it all the time, bro. And
what I do is I go to the same as across from like the store I go to, and I know where it's at. And
Yeah.
I went there last night and cheese quesadilla.
There you go. I mean, dude, the other one because I used to live in North Hollywood before I moved here about 6 months ago, and I lived there for 4 years, and I went to this tacos every single Tuesday. It's called Tacos Mexico. It's on the corner of Sherman and Bel Air. And
did you live near Sherman Way?
I literally lived off where the 170 gets off on Sherman.
Yeah.
And you go like not even half a mile. You go past the gas station, and Bel Air is the first cross street.
That's a rough area, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was. Yeah. Oh, dude, I could tell you some crazy fucking stories, but I'll save those. We'll save those for the second episode.
The homie got shot over there, man, or they shot at him.
Yeah, bro. Dude, I swear. Okay, here's a quick one. 2 months after we moved in, the what is it? The Royal Fresh, the grocery store. That's another block down.
That's an Armenian, or no? That's
Yes.
like a Hispanic
I'm
grocery
pretty
store.
Sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's owned by Hispanics, and it's funny you say that because the Armenians in the area, most people don't know. There's not like Bloods or Crips right there in North Hollywood. It's if there's any gangs, it's Mexican gangs or it's AP-13, which is Armenian Power, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I only know this because the liquor store guy right next to our house, him and I became good friends. He's Indian, and they used to, try and extort
he can break it down for you.
Dude, they tried to extort him for money. The Armenian, the APs, they tried to extort him for money. So that's exactly what happened at this Royal Fresh. And apparently they came up, this is 2 months after we moved in, I swear to God. Yeah. They apparently went to this Royal Fresh, demanded money, and we're like, protection, like the old mob stuff, like, hey, we'll watch out and make sure you're good. You just got to pay us every month, like a little shakedown, right? And this guy said, no, fuck you, basically. And it's all over the news. And they were like trying to press him. They thought, he was going to fight him or whatever. The owner of the Royal Fresh pulls out a shotgun, pumps the dude in the fucking arm. This guy's arm's like barely hanging on. And like, this is like a block away from our house. And this is 2 months after living there. And I was like, yeah, we're living in a pretty crazy spot. Yeah. But we lived there for 4 years, man. And
it builds character.
Oh, fuck.
It's like Amazon builds character. It's more of, you have
in
stories.
a different way. Amazon builds character because you learn how to like not hate your fucking life because you're like, man, fuck this job, fuck all this, dude. And fucking. Yeah, but living in that neighborhood, bro, even the street that we lived on, bro, there was like a couple houses that got raided while we were...
Something that's like Lancashire and Hart, that was, my friend was about to move there and they didn't, but that was a rough... That
Lancashire and which one?
Lancashire and Hart.
Hart, yep.
Over there too, just off the top of my head, but yeah. So... Going back to San Francisco, like, what's one of the best pizza shops in San Francisco? Because I might be going up there like pretty soon.
Sbarro's. They're a national chain now. When it's super funny because my little brother was in the same grade as one of the, I think it's grandsons of the original Sbarro's, right? And Nico Sbarro, my little brother was good friends with him, and so we'd always get Sbarro's pizza. It was so good. But I will say there's one in Walnut Creek, very, very close to where I went to school, called Rocco's. Mm-hmm. Rocco's Restaurante and Pizzeria. And that is like, dude, I grew up eating Rocco's, man. That is such a good fucking pizza spot right there, bro.
Rocco's.
Yeah, I love that one. And that's not just in the city, but if you're going to the city, you got to go by Sbarro's for sure. Sbarro's is a good one. I haven't been up there for a long time, man, to get like, just sit down and get some food. I will say this, though. You're looking for a good Italian deli. Shout out my brother, Nick Mastrelli. He and his, well, now he owns it, but his grandpa and his dad, they pretty much started Molinari's Delicatessen. It's a Molinari's Deli, bless you. And, dude, that is like a San Francisco staple. Everyone goes up there. It's like a big tourist attraction now. And it's a great place to get a good quality sandwich, man. Really good spot. I couldn't recommend them enough. Molinari's, man. Definitely check them out. They're awesome.
And then
Shout out my boy Nick, man. I see you doing your thing, brother.
And then going back to music again, like any goals like long term with ZG300. Like, kind of heard about what you're doing now, but
I'd say some of the goals. One, I want to put out my own album. Like, I can kind of mess around and sing. I love freestyle too, rapping and shit. Like, I love doing all that. Dude, when I was a kid, like, skating and stuff, you'd be like 12, 13, smoke a joint. And, like, we'd just sit around and freestyle with each other. Just
attempts to do it, right?
Yeah, just like freestyle and just fucking around. And like I said, I've been in, my whole family's musicians, so I know what sounds good. I can tell if I'm on pitch or I'm off pitch.
Yeah, you got that good founded background.
And I got an ear for it, too. So I want to make my own album. I think that'd be really cool. Because I make all these other motherfuckers sound good. It's time to make me sound good, you know?
Time to shine. So,
dude, I mean, might as well.
I think like if you made an album, it'd be like kind of good to like encompass a little bit everything
bro.
Like what
I
you
love
just
rap,
mentioned.
I love R&B. I love jazzy kind of stuff. I love like real singers. I can't really sing that well, but auto-tune does wonders. I'll tell you that. Auto-tune does wonders to a lot of people. I could put, bro, if I ever released some of these records without the auto-tune on of some of these people, holy shit, they'd fucking sue me because it's bad.
Who kind of put that battery in that kind of set the game? Was it Cher with like, if you believe, that kind of set the bar with the.
Yeah, that was like one of the bigger.
That was the game
songs,
game changer for that. Or?
Oh man, who else? I think honestly for me with the auto-tune, it was T-Pain. Obviously, when I heard T-Pain come out and that motherfucker had the old auto-tune. That shit was cranked all the way up, not even a little subtle. Like they tried to do with
the level of it all the way up.
Dude, well the level of the effect, because in auto-tune you can, or most plugins on DAW systems, they have like a 50% meter. So it's like instead of having the effect cranked all the way up, like on a guitar pedal, right? You don't want the wah turned all the way up. You're gonna put the wah at like 50%, so it still has the wah, but it's not overpowering. That's T-Pain, man, he had that shit cranked. That fool was singing full auto-tune, but it sounded so good that people loved it. And if you actually go and listen to T-Pain without the auto-tune, that man is a singer and sings incredibly well too. He did the NPR Tiny Desk concert.
So wait a minute, maybe the auto-tune kind of like dampened his style then?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it dampened it. It created a style for him because not a lot of people at the time were using auto-tune and were like really good at using. Because here's the thing. If you suck at singing, auto-tune can make you sound good. If you are good at singing, auto-tune can make you sound great. That's the difference. And he was already a good singer. So that's why so many people loved the T-Pain auto-tune, is because he already could fucking sing and just made him better.
You know what's funny? That has nothing to do with that. It was like if you're good at, if you can do the death metal vocals, and then like let's say if you can't do death metal vocals, no, because one time we made this song in the room, and my friend produced it, and it was like if you heard what I was doing, it was like.
You got the deep tones. I can't do that.
No,
man.
I can't do it either. Right? I'll just mess around like that, and then he made that sound cool.
Oh, nice.
And then like we let one of my friends hear, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know how the hell you made that. If you can make that sound cool, then you can."
You can make anything sound cool, man. Holy shit! I never could do. That's maybe the one genre that I never got super into. You have Disturbed.
You have to practice that and want to do it or whatever. But.
And it's like, dude, I can't even imagine how fucked up your vocal cords are after a fucking 3-hour show of just like, holy shit, bro. You sound like the Dementors are coming out or something.
Yeah, you could have some tea with honey in it or something.
Dude, you better have something, bro. You better have a fucking painkiller too, because that motherfucker's gonna hurt the next day. I'll tell you that, bro.
But yeah, you could lose your voice from doing that too. But
dude, you could seriously damage your vocal cords from doing that. Like, you could seriously damage them. I don't think people really understand that. Your vocal cords.
There's a lot of talent in it too, but
man, insane. I'm not taking away from that either. There is an insane amount of talent.
And the artwork, like look at the artwork that they have, dude, like that go along with it.
Badass shit back in the day, bro. Even now, I mean, still badass, but like, bro, I'm talking like some old stuff.
Like you said, it's a lot of art forms. It's a music video, or it could be like the bass player, and you keep on getting better and everything.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it, man.
So this is my last question, man.
Okay, all right.
I should have asked you like before, but what kind of inspiration or where do you get your inspiration when you make beats and produce and stuff like that? You know, like
that's a really good question, man.
Like it could be like you could watch a movie or something. Like, hey, I got some vibe from that, or do you like? I mean,
yeah, it's like a little bit of everything. I'd say, yeah, you know, you get inspired by like the art or like like a movie or like some other stuff. I'd say the biggest inspiration for me though, musically, is when I hear something new or something that I really like a certain type of beat or a certain style of production. I just am like, that is so fucking cool. And then it'll inspire me to go and like try and recreate it myself. You know, like I'll go in and I'll try. How did he get the drums to sound like that? How did he get his, how did he like the melody plucks and stuff? Like, well, I wonder what sound that is. And then, you go in, you start looking for the same sounds. Like, oh, I found the sound from so-and-so. I found the sound that he used in this song and whatever, man. And it's like, those things are really inspiring. Another big inspiration is from my fellow producers, like some of my brothers, man, like even other engineers too. I draw a lot of inspiration for like tips and tricks on how to mix people's vocals a little differently or certain effects because I hear from someone how they did it and I'm like, holy shit, I want to try and do that. I want to try and emulate that sound. And I feel like, what's the old saying? Something is copying is like the most sincere form of flattery, or imitation is anyway. It's like you want to create or try and create something similar to what inspired you, and you can't ever do it exactly the way, especially when you're doing it from someone like who
maybe make a tribute or your own personal kind of like homage to it or something.
Well, and every person that's a creative, they have their own style, right? So when I take the inspiration in, I try and use some of the inspiration that they're doing combined with the art that I like to make too, the style that I use for the beats or for the mixing or whatever it is. And man, I got a lot of homies too, bro, that when I really grew up, because before I wanted to do the mixing and the mastering and the recording in the studio and all that, I just was making beats. So a lot of my friends, whenever anyone had like a dope beat, they'd send it over, in the little group chat, whatever, we send it out, and he's like, man, oh, this is dope. How'd you do that? Oh, how'd you do that? And then you end up, kind of just, man, you just get a lot of inspiration from that, man. And so I'd say being around other creatives, listening to their work, and being around other people who are really doing it is what inspires me. That's where I get a lot of inspiration from, man. 100%. 100%.
Nice, man.
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so,
you got any, dude, I know you got some more questions in there. I know you got some bangers, bro. No, if you got to wrap it up, it's good.
We're about to wrap it up real quick, y'all.
Yeah. We got to do an episode 2 then next
Appreciate
time.
everybody out there. So,
hell yeah.
Recorded in Van Nuys. This is episode 22 with ZG300 again. So, music recommendations for this week. Lagwagon, they're like skate punk or something. They're from like Santa Barbara or something like that. I never really took the time to listen to them, but they got the album cover looks like the nerd from like Napoleon Dynamite, and I dug it, man. So I listened to it, and I mean I was jumping out of the van the whole time it was playing, but the whole vibe was going on, and I worked to it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I got a music shout out too that people should check out. It's actually this last project from my brother Reef, one of my clients, man. His name's Reef, REEF, Reef.
As long as he doesn't smoke weed, he's
he actually doesn't. It's funny you say.
Are you serious?
Wait, yeah, he doesn't. No, he doesn't smoke weed, man.
See, that's original.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Yeah. Well, he's a basketball player. He's actually a D2, D3 basketball player, and I ended up working with him on some crazy shit. But man,
he's a producer or rapper or something.
No, he's a singer. He's unbelievably talented.
Okay.
He's probably one of my favorite clients that I have right now, and he's more like my brother. But
check him out,
man. I've done a lot of work for him. His latest EP. 24 Hours in LA. I did that whole EP with them. Y'all should check it out. Okay, I promise you. It's really
definitely
good.
We can find that and link it up in the description and everything too.
100%.
So,
let's do it, man. Well, hey, thank you, brother.
No, we're not done yet. So there's another one.
Okay.
Rakim, the 18th Letter. I never had the money to buy the CD. I heard the whole album. It was dope. I mean, that's a classic. It came out in 1997. Born God album. So the reason I say that is 9 is the letter of the alphabet. I mean the 9-7, like it takes 9 months to make a baby, so then 9 would be born, and then 7 means God. Like G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. G 9-7. So yeah, that was some numerology real quick. So that was 18th letter. That was like a game changer in hip hop, and then what else? Oh yeah, shout out to Irene from Amazon. She recommended Blackalicious. That's a hip hop group.
Okay, so, shout out Irene.
Yeah, and it was
love Irene.
They were dope. So yeah, I was like, I listened to them, and then they're pretty awesome. So
let's go. Yeah. Okay, nice.
And then any shout outs, Zach, before we close out? No,
Man,
I'm going to give you the mic. So, yeah.
First and foremost, I want to say shout out to my brother Malcolm, man. I really, really like this guy. Again, one of the most genuine people that I've ever met. It was a pleasure working with him for almost a year now. And obviously, like, for bringing me on the podcast, I really appreciate it. And I know you're going to do some big things.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Shout out to my dad for getting me into music at a young age.
Is he in San Francisco or he's in LA?
They're still up in the Bay Area now. So
Nice.
my uncles, everybody, you know, that inspired the music. Shout out my brothers, you know, my brother Ray, my brother Max, D Wills, everybody, man. My boy Cowway, everybody, man. I love you guys. I really do. And thanks for supporting me in this crazy thing we call life, man, because it's a trip, brother. And thank you again for having me on the podcast, brother. It's been a pleasure.
All right, you're welcome. So you heard Zack, goes by the name ZG300. You heard like some real insights from a real person, a hard worker, and he sees some potential. He's gonna be doing some big things out there. So
yes, sir.
You heard some of his story on Los Angeles Chronicles. Thanks for checking it out, and thank you, everyone.